Yeah, Kendall's work rate has been pretty incredible there. I mean, there was a chance Caden had the ball in the back and was looking for something upfield, and right away, Caden putting some offensive pressure on the defender, forced her to go out of bounds. Now, at this point in Florida, it's mandated that they take a water break at the halfway point of each half. So we're going to see the first water break here, with we're pretty much exactly halfway through, with 22:38 left in the first half.
Sheldon, let's walk through some of these incredible universities that these players ensured their recognition. Let's start with the Red West All-American girls. We have Sophia Daw, goalkeeper, headed to Kansas. Bayless Flynn from Minnesota, goalkeeper, headed to Montana. Amanda Schluter, St. Henry High School, going to be a Buckeye at Ohio State. Lauren Adam, Noblesville High, Indiana, going to stay in her home state of Indiana, play for the Purdue Boilermakers, tough defender. We have Jordan Candelaria from Sandia High School in New Mexico. She is going to be playing for the Cincinnati Bearcats as a midfielder. We have Ava Bramblett, Noblesville High, another Ohio State Buckeye. We talked about that pairing. A lot of these players do have another teammate out on the field that they're headed to the university with. We have Ava Grunkmeyer from Jesuit of Portland. She's undecided on where she's going. However, I'm sure there's no shortage of opportunities for her to play at the next level. It's an important decision. It's an important decision for these players.
Yeah, and for her, it's just choosing the right opportunity. It's not as if there aren't any.
We have Brindley Murphy from Bearden High School. We hosted the 2021 High School All-American game in Knoxville, Tennessee at Bearden High School. We have an offensive attack. On the outside, placement, keeper coming out.
Yeah, Amanda Schluter played a great ball out wide to Kendall Staden on that one. And Kendall, got a crack at it. Shippey was up to the challenge, and the defense cleared the attack.
Highlight of speed on the outside. Defense is there. It'll be called a goal kick. Lots of speed on these outside wingers. Players, again, that know how to be crafty, know how to take on players 1v1. They use their body. They use their athleticism. Every player on this field has incredible work rate plus fitness.
And it's interesting to note, as a high school All-American game, these players came in Thursday night. They had one practice session together on Friday morning, and yet, they're trying to find the chemistry. But these are the type of girls who can pull that off, and that's really a tribute to where they're at, creating teamwork with really little touch.
We have a rip inside the 18, just high. Ripped by Shelby Runge of Issaquah High School. She's headed to Gonzaga. She's from Washington.
Yeah, so Shelby, she goes to Issaquah High School, and that they were the state runner-up to Skyline. So her arch rival has some representatives here as well as her. And again, all superstars.
Look at this counterattack. Perfect possession through the midfield, wide to the outside.
Yeah, Ashley Kozlowski played a great ball there to Reagan Schubach.
Maya Loud breaking up the offensive rhythm. Great 1- and 2-touch plays in the midfield. Disbursement to the outsides. These players are truly universal players. Like you're saying, not always playing in the exact position they might have played in high school. But these players, their soccer IQ is so high. Their technical ability is bar none, and their ability to find time and space for each other is surely showing on the field today. Red having a tight moment, hectic moment. There's a shot to the outside right corner. Red can't quite slow down the East in their strong offensive attack. Kayla Wong, who is headed to Princeton, finds the right lower pocket inside the rustle bustle of the box. Here's the replay. Playing the ball through to the outside, jammed up on the outside. However, they do recycle, repeat, try to keep that high pressure going. There she is, popping it from the top of the 18-yard box, catching the keeper out, and nailing that right post corner.
Yeah, great placement on that shot by Kayla. And Kayla, obviously one of the All-State players out of New Jersey, has put Freehold on the national map the last couple of years with over 42 wins between the last 2 high school seasons.
We have players choosing Ivy League schools. We have a Harvard representative. We have one headed to Princeton, Villanova, Rutgers, all very high-end academic universities.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why Eric and as he puts together this All-American team, we are looking at student athletes, and you see that through some of their college selections, and some of even to dive a little bit more deeply, some of the fields of study of some of these girls will be pretty intense. I mean, the reason why Caden picked Duke had to do with their medical program. So she's not going there to coast through and play soccer. She's going there for some pretty heavy academic commitments as well. As long as Ava Rayhill going to Harvard, it's a pretty impressive group in a number of ways off the field, as addition to on the field.
Anna Rayhill with the offensive turn, trying to lay off to the outside to Maddie Landers. Keeper coming out, Sophia Daw coming out, trying to break up that defensive play, reset for her team. Red working some more possession through the middle. Shelby Runge. Amanda Schluter showing her prowess to seek out offensive opportunities, headed to Ohio State.
Yeah, Amanda had an amazing run at St. Henry High School in Kentucky, 35 goals this year. But you see she's more in a midfielder role today.
Jordan Candelaria, headed to be a Cincinnati Bearcat, holding the midfield for the Red West.
That's an interesting one because a lot of the college soccer recruiting is still very regional. She's going from Albuquerque, New Mexico to Cincinnati. That'll be quite a culture shock.
Beautiful feed from Kayla Wong. The Blue East setting themselves up for an additional opportunity. On goal, throw in on the outside by Ava Reitmeyer. Ava is headed to Penn State. She's from Pennsylvania, staying home in the state of Pennsylvania, but a top-tier program at Penn State.
Yeah, no, even though, like I say, this is an all-star game, there's some pride on the line. The East have won the last 3 meetings of this East-West and competition, and they've done so with pretty dominating, convincing fashion. Last year was 5-0. So I know the West would like to get one back here.
Keeper comes out, resets for the West. Bayless Flynn and Sophia Daw are 2 of our keepers that we'll see today. Sophia Daw is the one playing this first half. I believe we will see Bayless Flynn in the second half. Sophia Daw is headed to Kansas, Bayless Flynn to Montana.
Yeah. And again, Schluter to Staden. We're seeing these 2 work really well together. Schluter's just finding Staden on the left wing. Staden's taking a crack and making things tough for the East defense.
Maddie Landers finding a tangle on the outside. Anna Rayhill working hard on that outside, trying to see what she can do to razzmatazz the outside midfielders to get past and unlock something in the offensive third. Lots of substitutions coming in for the West All-American girls. If you're just joining us, welcome to the 2022 High School All-American game in Panama City, Florida. Our sponsors, Top Drawer Soccer, Continental Tire, Bimbo, Capelli Sport, Prep Soccer. Hope you are joining us on our live streaming broadcast on Top Drawer Soccer and PrepSoccer.net. We are in sunny Panama City, Florida, 75 degrees and sunny, hosting the nation's best All-American high school female players from across the United States.
Yeah, Rylie Moschella just took a crack at goal from distance and sailed over. But, yeah, East is putting some pressure on the West right now as they hold on to a 2-1 lead.
Let's hit on a few more of these players. Let's talk about Paige Kalal. She's from Minnesota, but staying in Minnesota, going to University of Minnesota. Yeah. Kennedy Neighbors from Indianapolis, or from Indiana, headed to University of Indiana. Always a stellar program. Their men's program right now is obviously, on fire as the College Cup is happening.
Yeah, the men are through to the final, and Kennedy is coming off a state title at Evansville Memorial in an undefeated season. So good things from her.
Samaya Shell, she's from Washington, staying home in Washington, University of Washington. A lot of great West Coast talent in Oregon, Washington, California. We are thrilled that these players have joined us for this ceremony game for the high school All-American, coming from the entire West Coast as far as possible to sunny Florida. We have Kayla Barr from Tennessee, going to University of Tennessee. That program has been making incredible strides in the college circuit. Kendall Stadden, Minnesota, going to University of Minnesota. Samantha King, she's injured. However, she will be headed to Bowling Green State. She's from Indiana. Sophia Zhang, as we've mentioned her a couple times. She's from Washington, headed to Rice University, prestigious university at Rice. Olivia Lester, Gonzaga. She's from Nevada. Tyrese Zacher, Brandon Valley, South Dakota, going to North Dakota State. So she's shifting one state from South to North Dakota. Shelby Runge, headed to Gonzaga from Washington. Maya Loud from Oregon, going to Washington. Wow, Washington really did a lot of top-tier recruiting this year. It's going to be exciting to see their program.
Yeah, the last two years, and really 2-3 years specifically, University of Washington has really been able to keep the top Northwest players at
Ava
home.
Bramlin on the attack, launching the laser shot, just rises right before the crossbar. Quite an appetite still in effect here for the Red. They're down 1-2. However, they're not letting up. They're going to stay relentless on their attack on goal. We also have Caroline Kelly, Hamilton Southeastern Indiana High School. She's headed to IUPUI in Southern Indiana. We have some incredible coaching staff as well for the West girls. Our team in red, we have Angie Lensing, Evansville Memorial in Indiana, Ryan Radcliffe from Bearden High School, Tennessee. Wow, Ryan's resume is beyond impressive.
Yeah, so Ryan, well, both of them actually. Angie is more over 300 career victories at Evansville Memorial. She guided a team to a 20-0-1 season and a state title this year. And she's one of the all-time winningest coaches in Indiana history. I didn't know if she would stay after her daughters went through the program, but she has stayed, and even that the program has gotten stronger in time.
Beautiful feed by Samaya Shell. Working to feed a delicate touch on goal was Kennedy Neighbors from Evansville Memorial. She's headed to Indiana University. Nice finesse on that shot.
Yeah, and so we're just talking about Evansville Memorial from the coaching standpoint, and then it's Kennedy steps up and delivers there. But you also mentioned Ryan Radcliffe. Ryan led Bearden to a perfect season this year, a second straight state title at Bearden. They were nationally ranked #1 by every major national ranking. So a special year for Ryan, a special year for Bearden, and very well deserved.
Let's touch on some of the East All-American girls in the blue. We have so many, again, top-tier players. Just can't reiterate enough how incredibly talented these players are. There's a tight situation in the box. 14, Ava Reitmeyer, headed to Penn State, makes the incredible clear behind her keeper, ensures that the West isn't able to get on the board. She's there with stealth defensive technique, sacrifices her body as the West tries to do their best in order to put themselves back on the board, to tie this match.
Yeah, great defensive response there. And, Ava going to Penn State, that's the type of play we expect out of her.
Beautiful switch of fields by Reagan Schubach. Ava Reitmeyer right back into the action with the throw in. Let's walk through some of these East players. We have Maya Namoli from Episcopal Academy. She's headed to Ohio State to be a Buckeye. She's from Pennsylvania as a goalkeeper. Olivia, we'll see her in the second half. Olivia Shippey from Monroe Woodbury. She's headed to Boston. Currently with the ball as we speak of Olivia. We have Reagan Schubach, who's from Hunterdon Central in New Jersey. She is headed to South Carolina to become a Gamecock. On the outside, we have Anna Rahill from Harvard, keeping the keeper on her toes. Rocket shot, forcing her to have the glue in her gloves to keep that from going by.
Yeah, it was impressive to hang on to that because that was a nice low shot with some pace on it. Didn't give up the rebound.
Audrey Kane for the East from Notre Dame Academy is headed to Rutgers. Sophie Reel headed to UCLA. We talked about her earlier from Hingham High in Massachusetts, going from Massachusetts all the way to the West Coast. Ava Feely from Yarmouth High School from Maine, heading a little further south to Boston. Kayla Wong headed to Princeton from New Jersey. Maddie Landers from Pingree School is from Massachusetts, staying close to home in Boston.
Looks like we're going to have a dangerous free kick spot out here, and it's going to be Ava Bramlett from Noblesville serving this one up.
Dangerous ball from the outside for the East girls to defend as the West trying to find their equalizer. It's high, it's wide to the outside. Not able to connect with a fellow teammate. The ACC is a very lucky conference in some of these teams that are receiving players. Lots of Boston players. We are also seeing, Maddie Landers is also headed to Boston as well as Ava Feely. So seeing players headed to the Big 10, Big 12, ACC, SEC, Ivy League. Quite the dynamic group of players for every conference to start to elevate their play in college.
Yeah, absolutely. And these are the players that were, early commits as well in most cases. These were the people who signed in November, didn't wait to February or March. These are the players that those colleges had ID'd that'll be difference makers in their programs for the next 4 to 5 years.
Beautiful turn by Ava Barras. Pennington School headed to Rutgers, showing her technical prowess.
Yeah, Ava was a key player in an undefeated Pennington team this year that had a great season and did it with only 3 seniors on the entire team.
Yeah, that's always where they have to step up in their leadership components. Again, we said these are student athletes. Many of them have had to step up in leadership roles in that they do attend smaller high schools, not necessarily major metropolitan areas, and have had the ability to and the benefit of playing on large national stages. But a lot has been asked of these players while they're committed to their colleges, also to anchor their high school teams and mentor and help raise the level of their high school programs.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, during the club season, obviously they're playing around their contemporaries. They're U18s, U17s, U19s. But on a high school field, you're dealing with 4 grades. So you're going to be playing with girls either way up or way down, depending on what your grade level is. And these seniors have that added role of being mentors to the sophomores and the freshmen who are going to follow in their footsteps in these programs. And most of these programs are pretty consistently nationally ranked type teams every year because of that leadership and that handing down of the
passing the torch.
Passing the torch, exactly.
So to say. So we have Maddie Landers, who is headed, we said, staying in Massachusetts to Boston. Jenna Tobia headed to Clemson. Wow, what a program Clemson is. And what an addition Jenna Tobia is to Clemson.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember, I've been around the game long enough to remember when Clemson was the kicking post of the ACC. They were the easy win. They're no longer the easy out.
Right. Piper Caulfield headed to the Indiana program, always a stellar program in the men's and women's.
Well, how about this? She'll be playing against her sister who plays for Pitt.
Talk about a rivalry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
At home and on the field. Yeah. Gwen Howell, she's also from the Mars area where Piper is from. She's headed a different direction, though. She's headed to Richmond, Virginia from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, the University of Richmond is an absolutely beautiful school. If you ever have a chance to be in Richmond, please visit that campus. It is absolutely stunning.
Marty Beal, a great coach and college personality in the Virginia area.
Yeah, and he's actually from my hometown.
Oh, wow.
He went to the arch rival high school that I attended. So, yep, the soccer is a small world.
It sure is. Ashley Kozlowski from St. Anthony's, she is headed to Bucknell from New York. Rich in legacy, Bucknell is.
Absolutely, and again, a very academic-minded school, and it fits what Ashley wants to do on the next level.
Ava Reitmeyer from Downingtown West, going to Penn State. Anna Rayhill, New Hartford High, headed to Harvard, as we explained earlier. Danielle Davis, Friends Academy, another amazing addition to Clemson, coming in as a midfielder for Clemson. Gabby Collick, Freehold Township, headed to Villanova in New Jersey. Quite the athletic heritage at Villanova, taking their sports always to the next level as well as their academics. Lisa McIntyre, Springside Chestnut Hill, Pennsylvania. She is signed with University of Maryland. Maryland is going to have a great force this year.
Yeah, that's another school. That's my home state, and we've seen some trials and tribulations at Maryland. At times, good enough to be in the top 5 in the country, and the other times bad enough to be in the bottom 5 of the ACC or Big Ten. So maybe they can get their footing with a player like Lisa.
The East riling up one last attempt here before the halftime. We have Rylie Moschella as well from Cincinnati, Massachusetts.
Gabby required to make a big save there on a shot by Ava Reitmeyer.
These are competitors through and through, working their hardest right to the end of the game. You are joining us for the 2022 High School All-American game. We're seeing some last shots as the East takes on the West, firing it at both goals. We are at a 2-1 lead for the East heading into the halftime. Again, we'd like to thank our TopDrawerSoccer.com and PrepSoccer.net for streaming this live high school All-American game from Panama City, Florida. Continental Tire and Capelli Sport, we couldn't have done it without their support. The West giving it their best before we close out the half.
Yeah, Kyla Barr there with the shot just wide right. Now, Kayla she's had an interesting high school career only because she's in the same area as Brinley Murphy, and Brinley got so much exposure that people didn't necessarily see much of Barr.
The East making one last attempt, broken up by the West. The West is on the run, seeing if they can capitalize and tie this up before the half. We're down to the last few seconds of the high school All-American game. First half, rocket shot. Player is there. Samaya Shell can't quite connect. We will catch you on the other side of the halftime today. Again, thank you to our sponsors. We are in Panama City, Florida at the beautiful state-of-the-art Tommy Oliver